That's not really too bad. There wasn't a lot of oil up top here, so there was a little oil closer to the flywheel, but this is way above, so this didn't get super slimed up. We'll just give it a quick clean, throw it back on. What is this, a stop action? Yeah, just marking each part as they're going on. And there we go. It's the shroud on. Okay, this gives you a good idea what this motor was doing. Look at all the debris that was inside those covers. It's just full of oil and slime. So this is the other side of the motor, the opposite side of the leak. And obviously the flywheel was slinging some of it, but this was on the side of the leak, right by where the oil filter's down here, and it was leaking, you know, pretty much right here is where it was leaking, and it was blowing right out inside this cover and sliming all over everything. So we'll get this off of here. Yeah, the regulator's still there. That regulator ain't no damn good. Once I get it bolted back on the motor, we got the new regulator, we'll slap it on there. So I'll clean these off. I expect these to come out just like the back plate. You can see here, it's just slime. That's all it is. So that'll clean right up, and then we'll slap these covers right back on, and that'll allow us to put the front cover on. So we's almost done. Although I am going to adjust the valves and check the end play on that crank before it ever goes on the tractor, but we are almost done. Now, they're not new, but they're pretty damn close to it. Little baked on slime over there that I couldn't get off, but they actually look pretty good. You know, there's just a lot of crud that was on them. They clean right up, so we're going to throw them on. All right. Now we got to turn our end up so we can get the cover on. There's one of the screws. The other one's going there, so it just wraps around that side of the cylinder. Let's get this thing on there, and the cover's on. Bolts up just so. A little bolt in the back, and that's that. Now this is just there temporary because this is one of the main cover bolts. Again, we're not done with this valve cover. We're going to redo the gaskets, but that cover's on. Other side, there we go, the other cover's on. And again, that's where the leak was, right up in there. So we got her all buttoned up. She ready for the top cover. I'll replace that regulator really quick, button that all up. Alright, this is slimy. So I gotta get this cleaned up too. It doesn't look super bad on the outside. That's just standard lawnmower fare there. But the inside of it was all gooped up. The same as everything else. Just covered with a layer of dirt and oil. The whole thing. Like that. Oh, we'll wash this up. I'm sure this will come out like brand new too. Okay, so what do we got here? Well, that's valve cover. And I checked the manual and it said 4 to 6. What do we got here? Ooh, everybody loves a red box. And it's a little stair at 55. Covered in oil, but we give it a wipe before we use them. And we'll oil them up before we put them away. Otherwise they rust solid. So I'm going to knock off this cap and we're going to check the lash. And again, the lash is 4 thousandths to 6 thousandths. Okay, so we're going to just take this little guy here, a little Makita, zip it off. Okay, take that one over there. Hard to do when I'm looking through it. Okay. Hard to do when I'm looking through it. Good. Yeah. Good. Okay. And in case there's any interest, it's just a little Makita impact driver with some Makita impact sockets. I think these are supposed to be 10, but they seemed a little sloppy, so I used the 3/8. So, and that's that. So we just zip these off real quick. Not quick enough. Now I got the plugs out of this too. Okay, set these down here. Alright, pop this cover off. And again, that's all gooped up with RTV. And we're going to get rid of that. There are gaskets for this. I got a brand new pair of gaskets right here. Okay, and there's the gaskets. Let me get the glare off of them. Those are the gaskets, made in China, of course. So we are going to put the gaskets back in. Okay, and let's see if I'm at top. I am not at top. I think these are... Yes, I am. Okay, and we'll roll it over. I got the plugs out of it, just for heck of it. I got to watch with my greasy paws. I'm touching oily things and then getting my hands on the camera. Okay, I'm going to roll her over a little bit and see. Okay, there we go. That's the exhaust. That's the intake. Okay. And as the intake's coming up, I'm just taking a scribe, very gently, just leaving it lay in the hole. Okay. And as she's coming up, yeah, there we go. As she's coming up, the scribe's just gonna come up out of the hole. You gotta be careful not to jam it in there, though. Don't want to damage anything. Okay, there she's top right there. Alright, and once they're at top, that's good enough to check the valves. Okay, so they're a little sloppy. That one's not so bad. So they got to be 4 and 6. Okay, so we'll check them. That one seems like it's a little snug. Oh, no, it's not. Whoops, just lost the push rod, dummy. Be careful you don't pull them off the push rod. So, you can push against these springs enough to where you can lift it right off of there. Not a lot of spring pressure here, so just be careful with the push rods. Okay, so now I got to put the push rod back. I can't do that with one hand. Well, okay. So I pull her around the top dead center and made sure these are in the place they need to be. That one seems snug. And pulled out the gauges, and again, this is stair at 55. Okay, I don't think you can see that. Maybe there's too much glare. There we go. And I've got 4, 5, and 6 out. Again, this is an older unit, and unfortunately it was put away dry, but that's okay. Okay, that's the right size right there. She no fitty. Okay, so it's too tight. Okay, this side here, I know it's too tight. Okay, this one, that's snug. Okay, that's going to have the exhaust valve hanging open, which you don't want to happen. That motor won't run right with the exhaust valve stuck open. So I'm going to loosen these up and get these back where they're just snug. I don't know what that is. That probably 2 3/1000ths. Let me check it. Okay, now I pulled out a 2 and a 3, and yeah, this is a rusty. This set was rusty because they were stored. They had engine oil on them, waste oil. They're just covered in black goo. And this is what waste oil does to feeler gauges if you leave them in the box. There's acids and stuff in there. Don't use it. Clean it off, use fresh oil. So these are put away, covered in fresh oil out of the thing. You can see here, I'm trying a 2, okay? And she's just biting in the tip. So these are way too tight, okay? I'm gonna shoot for 5. I'm thinking 4 or 5. And it might introduce a little bit more noise, but it'll actually make the motor run better. You don't want these valves tightened up like that. Once this motor gets hot, all these valves open up and it'll be way down on power. So, yeah, we just don't want that. You can't have your valve lash too tight. Once this motor warms up, the valves will open wide. So we're going to bring it back out to 4 or 5. 6 is the upper limit, but these valves are way too tight. This motor must have ran like crap. Probably started great, but probably didn't run very well. Oh well. Okay, so what we got here, I loosened up that lock nut. That's a T40 Torx. Okay, and I've got this loosened up just enough so this just slips in here, just so. Okay, and basically I loosen up the lock nut enough so that this slides in here just so. Okay, but has some tension on it. Okay, I can only do this with 2 hands, so basically I'll just turn this a little bit. Okay, so this gets snug, and now it's kind of, it doesn't want to go in and out, and I can just get it in and out of there. It'll go in and it drags, and that's where I want to hold it. So I'll put that down, I'll hold that in that position like that, and then tighten the lock nut, and that's that. Okay, take that off, take that off. She's got a little bit of play, and that's okay. It's supposed to have some play. And again, what I did is set this at 5. Okay, so that's that 5. Let me see if I can get a better picture of it. 5. Okay, so we just take it in here. It's got snug, you know, it can slip in between the valve and the rocker, but it's snug. And I'm going to do that on this side, and we'll get it up. But you can see this one's still tight as hell. You see one that's right, it's got a little slop in it. And that's it. I got to do it on both sides. Then I'll put the valve covers back on.